Welcome to RAC Arena as we celebrate First Nations round, the Fever and the Sunshine Coast Lightning going head-to-head. Let's head straight down to centre court for our Welcome to Country, performed by Dr. Richard Wally.
So may the good spirit keep everyone safe. This is called the Wajak section of the Nyungar language group. The traditional name for Perth is Bulu. We ask the good spirit to keep you safe, keep the players safe, and at the end of this match, take each and every one of you safely home to your families. Nyambe mera, nyambe, nyambe, nyambe mera, nyambe, nyambe. Bula nyonga, bula, bula, bula nyonga, bula, bula. Ngan mur puja, puja, puja. Ngan mur puja, puja, puja. Nyambe mera, nyambe mera, nyambe, nyambe, nyambe mera, nyambe mera, nyambe, nyambe, nyambe mera, nyambe, nyambe, nyambe mera, nyambe, May the good spirit be here with us and keep everyone safe. Kaiawa.
Well, there you go. The First Nations round and the presentation. Our Welcome to Country by Dr. Richard Wally. And of course, a lovely cultural performance done by Nalak Nidja. First Nations round, it's been a feature of Suncorp Super Netball since 2018. It's providing an opportunity for the sport of netball to recognise the histories, cultures and contributions of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. The Fever side, some work to do off their loss last week. And there's Belinda Reynolds, the former assistant coach of the West Coast Fever, 5 years. She'll know this stadium very well. And she returns to RAC Arena. Stace, the two sides coming onto the court, the Woolworths team cards for the Fever. And a big game expected from Courtney Bruce.
Absolutely right. Courtney Bruce was in fine form last week and has had a really good season, but will want to be bringing a bit more consistency into this final series. The Fever looking much more familiar, especially with Verity Simmons coming back into the centre, and also congratulations to Sasha Glasgow, who is making the Roses squad for the coming international season.
The Sunshine Coast Lightning, a win last week. Steph Wood, impressive, 6 from 9 in the super shots. They'll need her tonight.
Absolutely. Steph Wood and Cara Conan are one of the best shooting combinations in the league, and they'll be matched equally by the Diamond defensive duo. Really exciting tonight to see Ava Black get that start in wing defence, and also Ash Irving being rewarded with a great performance last week, stepping into goalkeeper this season. This game, excuse me.
So it is First Nations round. The message we gather as one. The dresses being worn by both sides. Should I say, an enormous, I can't think of another word, it is an enormous crowd in here at RAC Arena as Alice Teague-Neal steps onto the court to play her 100th National League game. And the West Coast Fever sitting third on the ladder, and they will be eyeing off a spot in the finals. Where they land is still to unfold, and of course we just saw one of the most extraordinary games unfold in front of our eyes just a moment ago, with the Magpies playing their last home game ever up against top of the table, the Adelaide Thunderbirds, and they won. Stacey Francis Bayman, the emotion was extraordinary.
It was. I think you couldn't sit there and not just feel the the draining experience I think that the Magpies have had as a collective, and to see them get across the line in their final home game are really heartwarming.
So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, buckle in for the next hour or so as the West Coast Fever will start the game. Heading to your right of the screen in their First Nations green strip. Verity Simmons in the middle, back from COVID protocols, and she'll be well needed by the Fever.
Yes.
And you heard earlier, Ash Irvine, or Irvin should I say, in at goalkeeper, and great to see her get a start.
Absolutely right, an unenviable task, and if we just have a look there, I'd like to point out that Janelle gave her first goal to me of what's going to be many goals and a really key milestone tonight.
Well, she'll be hoping to hit 36 as soon as possible, and again, that will notch up goal number 5,000 for her. At the other end, the Sunshine Coast Lightning. And their dress, all about our women, by Jerome Wanu, Waka Waka Te Whahito artist. And some great stories that sit in behind their dress. So the Fever, Jess Ansters connecting with Simmons and Orgy, the contest.
Centre third, yes.
Sunshine Coast Lightning starting this game as they mean to go on. Incredible physicality and close one-on-one defensive pressure across the board.
Contact goalkeeper.
Glasgow, a little quiet last week by her standards. Good confident start from her. Sherian sits in at wing attack, been playing a little bit more in the centre. They switched the line-up.
Vantage contact, wing, vantage. Centre obstruction, vantage offside.
Cassidy, top of the circle with Wood, looks for the connection. That's what the Lightning do best. Shooter to shooter from Wood to Conan.
Absolutely right, Sue, and we'll see so much of that tonight, and it's one of the critical things that the Fever defence will need to stop and watch out for. Cut off that shooter to shooter and you create a disconnect.
The West Coast Fever, strong starters last week against the Thunderbirds, a 2012 start, and then they got eaten up as the game went on.
Breaking goal attack.
And for the Lightning, it was a little different, slow to start, and then all guns blazing in the second half. Sherian cuts through. Good swing, opens. Terrific triangle play by the Lightning. Their ball speed looking good early.
Yeah, just really confident. You can tell they're confident, they're letting the ball go, and I think Lightning, a speedy Lightning, is where they're at their best.
Oh, terrific stuff. Footwork, front space by Irvin.
Goal shooter obstruction.
Well, that's confidence for her early.
It is absolutely right. She has an unenviable task, but she's just continuing to grow and grow. As we see here in the Harvey Norman replay, not too much on that from Sasha Glasgow, but brilliant footwork by Irvin to come through and take that.
Again, the swing from Wood to Sherian. Nowhere to go. Top of the circle. The contact from Simmons over the top on Cassidy. Verity Simmons.
I suspect that won't be the first contest that we see between those two centres. Neither shy of a little bit of physicality.
So a strong start by the Lightning. Turning over a Fever centre pass. Tip from Simmons, goes back to Cassidy. There's Conan out on that lead. Oh, gee, and then the wayward ball into the hands of the 100-gamer in Teague Niels.
Possession goal shooter.
Gee, flying with just enough on it to find Fowler.
Yeah, incredible defensive effort for me there by the Fever. What I really liked was that mismatch and the switch from Jess and Vez to cause that little bit of indecision and an error, as we see another error, unfortunately, there by the Fever.
It's a rarity for Anstis, isn't it? Looking into that back space, but a little too much on it.
Yeah, she has been in fantastic form this season. I don't necessarily think she's been raved about, but she's doing her job. She's a workhorse, and she's usually a pair of safe hands.
Ava Black, the start in at wing defence, an impressive youngster coming through. Getting a good look at the Suncorp Super Netball court nice and early. The Lightning Stakes, of course, we know there is the smallest percentage of chance they make finals. We all understand that's really tough. So they come here tonight with no weight on their shoulders. What does that look like as this game unfolds?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. You often find that when there's almost nothing to play for, the teams bring out, incredible interception there by Jess Anstis, backing up in the pocket. Such a difficult skill to do, and something that the Lightning will be on notice for now.
Glasgow, nowhere to go, so goes back. Contest from Black. Look at Teague Neal, wants to get moving. Well, the Fever take the crumbs and go.
As we see here, Jess, footwork to get back and up and take that cleanly on the Harvey Norman replay. Excellent to see that again.
Penalty needs to be set in the centre third. 5 minutes through the opening quarter here.
A reset of the penalty, but the same end result.
Janelle Fowler slots in number 4. 32 to go. We'll keep you mathematically up to date, folks. Terrific connection, Glasgow to Fowler.
Yeah, much better feed on that ball as well. A little bit more height and loft, not giving Ash a chance to get her hands in there because she's a tall, rangy defender.
So off the back of the Anstis intercept, the Fever now find themselves 2 in front. Good outside arm from Ava Black. She's an impressive-looking athlete, isn't she, Black? Nice height, can play through the middle.
Yeah, she's incredibly dogged. Her footwork's fantastic. And actually the thing that stands out for me is her pressure over the ball, which against a team like Fever is critical.
Want to know who she reminds me of?
Oh, tell me. Oh! I'm really honoured by that because I think she's wicked.
There she is, Ava Black. Working with Sharon, quick 1-2, so chipping their way, trying to find some movement over the defence. Footwork, well, I was going to go footwork and then held.
Yeah, a really unit defensive effort there by the Fever. They're looking confident early, shutting down their players individually, but then also having the confidence to come off and confuse space.
Oh, gee, Teague Neal looked at Simmons and then went, I'm going all the way down to Fowler.
And Fowler looked at Simmons and decided she'd just take the shot herself.
So the West Coast Fever, similar in their role last week, out early, and then the contact on Glasgow. So a turnover here. Oh, Steph Wood, terrific hands, and the finish from Conan. Well, there's the Diamonds front end. Bring a little bit of that to South Africa, please. Good news, folks. The announcement during the week, Fox Netball, all games live and exclusive of the World Cup on Fox, and then KO freebies for every Australian game and finals. Can't wait.
Untap and defense.
Oh, hand Bruce.
I didn't even see that hand. That was amazing.
No, neither did the person throwing the ball.
Management offside.
Wood works his way around, just controls the pace for the Lightning. The step back offload, shooter to shooter again. So well within range here.
Tactical timeout, Lightning.
9-7 the score halfway through the first. And here's that little give moment on our Harvey Norman replay. But a HCF tactical timeout has been called, the first one by head coach of the Sunshine Coast Lightning, Belinda Reynolds. Let's have a listen.
But just with their wall, make sure that we stretch it and then come through the middle, yes? Let's be an option off the back as well on our centre pass, yes? Do the work before the line so you can come over. Have a look, because I'm trying to pull. Good job,
Take your hands on, but stay facing. She's turning in. Then as she goes, you've got to turn, and it's taking you that time to turn to open it. But that's really good, closing it off. Just keep being active and keep taking your feet on that slide.
Block out, one centres. Stay on the edge on the 2-point netball. Really good job on Alice. The one that's there that you're not in the contest, you're going to contact. They're the ones get back at our hands. And we scored off our turnover, but then we let our CPA go down. That's the one we need to acknowledge and look at everyone as he goes down score. Let's go.
So, an early call by Belinda Reynolds, 7 minutes into the first quarter. Thoughts on that one, Stace?
Yeah, I think for me it was a strategical decision to give Carla Pretorius time to get some physio attention without actually having to come off of the court. But really good time for them to have it. Oh, beautiful footwork there by Ash Irving. That feed really did not have enough on it, but she was ready and willing to pick up any of the West Coast Fever scraps.
There you go, there's that moment Stacey just talking about. Dylan McPherson joining us on the sideline tonight. Dylan, I'm not even sure if we'll hear you amongst this crowd. It's extraordinary
Yeah, I'm going to have to yell very loud, Gordy, for you to hear me, but really interesting. I've never seen someone get their ankle taped on the side of the court like Carla Pretorius just did sitting down. Coach Nerida Stewart really excited in the West Coast Fever huddle about their structure. She thinks they're clogging the middle corridor when they're in that box, and they're forcing Cara Conan to come out of the circle. But once she's out, she wants Courtney Bruce to keep her out.
Well, speaking of Courtney Bruce, contact, says the umpire.
With the goal attack. Contact, goal defence.
A little bit of close attention from Sunday Ariang there under the post.
That's it, we run our goal attack.
Just caught her feet, nothing really in that, and Cara Conan is never not smiling, actually, so I'm not sure whether she minded too much.
The finish from Steph Wood. Fever still holding on to that 2-goal lead. Anstis looking but nothing coming. Eventually Teague Neal.
Goal attack obstruction, centre third. Yes, Marty, contact, red.
There you go, the vision into Fowler. Confidence early from the Fever to do that.
I think a little. I was still half holding my breath on that feed. I'm not sure that it still had quite enough on it, but absolutely give Janelle the respect she deserves, put that ball in, but make sure it's in the right place.
Courtney Bruce again, a couple of contacts. Working her way around Conan. Cara Conan, as we said, shooting at 94% accuracy. The second offensive contact on a centre pass for the Fever. So good wins here for the Lightning.
Time wasn't played on.
Yeah, and really interesting moment. I'm not sure if you would be able to see it. The off the ball between Teague Neal and Black is definitely present, and there was a moment earlier on in the game where I think Black felt like she'd been contacted. So I think there's certainly a bit of gamesmanship going on off the ball and behind the centre pass.
Well, Ava Black's got nothing to lose by frustrating Alice Teague Neal, has she?
Absolutely not.
They don't know each other at all yet.
And how exciting to see a new matchup and to have somebody different to play against, something different to think about challenge-wise.
Steph Wood just under pressure on that first centre pass, couldn't quite offload the second phase. Bruce, though, well, gee, if that's a executed pass with perfection, it was. In 3 balls, the West Coast Fever fly through court right on the Power 5 buzzer. Though, have a look at that. The youngster gets the starting nod at goalkeeper and right to the top of the Nissan net points on 23, courtesy of that nice intercept before.
Yeah, the Fever immediately switched on to their power play tactics, though, knowing the threat that Sasha Glasgow is. Neil Fowler left unattended to in that circle. A victim of her own success, almost, Sasha Glasgow.
Wood, very impressive at this last week. Gee, good pressure defensively from the Fever, though. Forced a little offload. So a 1 to the Lightning. Teague Neal, strength in the air. Glasgow. Oh, gee, well, a get-out-of-jail moment off the post for the Fever. Very lucky.
Or very skilled.
Or very skilled. I'll do it again and I'll say that's skilled.
As we see here, Harvey Norman replay shows that goal assist by the post. I'm not sure they're getting any net points for that.
Chance here for Wood on the penalty. Falls short. Hand from Bruce on the rebound. Wood again. Rocks back. This goes over the back and it's a throw-in. So already, though, we see the gameplay for the Lightning. That is, let's attack the super shot.
Yeah, and I think Lightning are fantastic in the 1-point zone. They have a really strong game, but I don't think that will be able to match up against a Fever over 60 minutes if they are able to pull that trigger on the 2-point shot like they can.
In the meantime, some impressive transition for the West Coast Fever through court. And again, push that lead out to 4, the biggest so far of the game. Glasgow, nice change of direction. And when the West Coast Fever get their attacking play right, they look unstoppable, don't they?
It looks beautiful, yeah. They're letting the ball go before the person's even there. Their flow and confidence in each other is certainly strong towards the start of this game.
Smarts by Wood, back space, goes again, quick offload. No need to take the risk there. And they settle for the 1. The Lightning just 13 goals the last time they played the Fever in the first quarter. The Fever were at 21. Fowler swings, sets for the 1.
Some great work defensively there by the Lightning in the circle.
Just over 2 minutes to play in this opening quarter. First Nations round. Conan has only shot 4 this season. Couldn't even get that one up over the hand of Bruce. And then Sherian pops the bullet. And it goes wayward. I don't think that impresses the coaching staff of the Lightning. So 5 the difference. There's the time in possession and the Lightning dominating it. But Stace, that stat, is that courtesy of how direct and efficient the Fever have been in attack? 44% they've only had in possession.
Yeah, I do think it is a symptom of that. The Fever seem very switched on. We're seeing parts of their game that were at the absolute best in the first half of the season. Nobody could stop them. Their dead play ball was really, really quick.
Hold up here defensively, good work by the Lightning. A chance to have a look at a ball. Cassidy puts Teague Neild under pressure. Then just the contact, which releases it, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I really did like the physicality and the running to Alice, forcing her literally almost off the court into the sideline, but then to have the presence of mind to pull out of that contest for me would have been a better choice.
So look at that, the last 10 goals, just 2 moments of yellow in amongst a field of green for the Fever. 48 seconds to play, good ball. Enough height on it, probably allowed Bruce, though, just a chance to think she could get in the contest.
Oh, and a very uncharacteristic miss there under the post. Courtney Bruce was ready for that rebound, but the shot is going to come back into the circle.
So Fowler sitting at 17 goals. Conan, this will be her 11th, just drops in. Glasgow the 1 and Wood 2 with a couple of super shot misses.
Contact, you're grabbing Windy's hands.
Ava Black, well, Ava Black thought that was against her, sorry, for her, and started to take off down court. So it's an intriguing battle unfolding with the youngster against the 100 gamer in Teague Neild. 7 seconds, they need to go long, 5 seconds. Smart contest. So this is one ball and in by Sherian. Clever, and the ball does not go in, says the umpire. So as we finish the first 15 minutes here in First Nations round in Perth, the West Coast Fever, a solid start, a strong one, leading over the Lightning 20-13.
Guys, just nice and close in first as a group. Really well done. Great start to this game. All right, so volume where we need it, opposition under pressure where we need it. We've got their centre passes down at 56%, ours sitting at 71, so we're winning that battle, but a bit of room for improvement there, all right? Grit moments too, we've created 8 opportunities, only 5 scored, but it's enough at the moment, so keep striving for a little bit more. Stay on task with game plan and work rate to replicate in the second quarter. Don't deviate too far from what's working really well for us, all right? Great job, well done.
Well, all positive from Dan Ryan after the first quarter. That's because the scoreline sits at 20-13 for the Fever. And the last time these two sides met in the first round, it was 21-13. So let's see what the Sunshine Coast Lightning can do. They were slow starters last week, Stace, but they did come home strong.
Yeah, absolutely right. And they have started today's game well. The first 10 minutes, they were goal for goal. It was that super shot period. They didn't necessarily create that deficit through super shots, but as we heard from the team talk from Dan Ryan, they weren't taking their given possession to goal.
First Nations round in the second quarter, right here on Wajak Noongar Budja at RAC Arena. Verity Simmons sitting on 10 feeds, 4 more, and she'll hit her 3,000 milestone. We'll watch that moment. The Fever attacking has been impressive so far. Anstis. Simmons, the connection, but not enough on it. And again, Irvin, well, into it as she did in the early parts of that first quarter, and just what the Lightning need.
Yeah, exactly. She is absolutely showing why she deserves this starting position. Her footwork has been brilliant tonight, and she's there for any missed feed from the Fever.
Well, Simmons comes there around with the outside arm, wants to rectify Stacey Francis-Bayman. That last pass. So picks up a defensive stat. Teague Neild got the ball on a string to Fowler at the moment.
Yeah, and a really good mix-up of positioning from Janine in the circle there. Instead, she put on a really strong front hold, which means that the ball is quite clearly going to come in flat and hopefully uninterrupted.
A terrific ball from Sherry, and that's what she's known for. Threads the needle to Conan. Sunshine Coast Lightning huddle led by Belinda Reynolds back in her hometown of Perth. Dylan McPherson, what did the Lightning have to say?
Well, it was all very positive in the Sunshine Coast Lightning huddle, and I think as it should be. Coach Belinda Reynolds just wants them to be a little bit more composed with ball in hand, see the defence and adjust, and she wasn't happy with some of the skill errors from the Lightning. They had a break and a stepping, and she wants that tidied up. But interestingly, really positive about Ashley Irvin. She wants Carla Pretorius out in the one-on-one. She thinks Irvin can do the contest against Fowler on her own.
Wow, that's huge from Reynolds, isn't it? Well known backing in the youngsters, and she's done that with Irvin today. Sherry, and another quick offload to Conan in front space. That just builds confidence for Ash Irvin, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely right. Leave her one-on-one in the circle because you know that she's doing a job. She got ball on hand early, and we've continued to see that, which is brilliant.
Fowler having to go back to the line, pressure defensively, and again, there's the lady we're talking about, Irvin. Well, an opportunity to fly to Perth and step on the court and play against the world's best goal shooter. Mum and Dad, keep putting these moments on the highlights package. Here's one for you. Harvey Norman replay. Irvin, impressive.
Yeah, definitely living in Jay's head a little bit. Janelle set up a really strong hold there, knowing that she was going to have to be clear of where she wanted the ball, but I think for me, in that intent, took her eye off the ball, caused an error.
Just working their way to the circle edge. The connection, Cassidy into Wood, the rebound. Well, Conan, terrific contest from back space over Bruce.
Yeah, a skill that lots of goalkeepers would like to try and add to their skill set.
Gee, it's getting, and you love this word, willing inside the circle, Stacey Francis Bayman, between the four diamonds.
I do. I didn't know what willing meant beforehand, but that was a perfect example.
It's in the English dictionary.
Well, I haven't used it in this context,
Okay,
let's say.
no problems.
Advantage obstruction, wing attack.
Turnover moment for the Lightning. So a chance here, 2 in a row, and possibly their best attacking play so far in the game. Had full speed.
Yeah, catching Courtney Bruce on the back position. Ball came down so quickly, didn't have time to reposition and do anything about that. Lightning at their absolute best in that moment.
I just want to talk about that moment. So the umpire here trying to tell Courtney Bruce to stand out of play and right directly beside. To me, get on with it. If Conan shoots the goal, let's move on. I just think that is unnecessary.
Yeah, I think there are a few rules in netball that we don't necessarily enjoy. It doesn't add to the experience of the game for the players or the fan.
Well, what's it trying to prove? Courtney Bruce, stand out of play. She literally was. Move a centimetre next to her. Anyhow, move on. Move on. Back to it, though. Good moment here for the Lightning. Couple in a row.
Yes, excellent front position there by Alice Teathneel. She was happy for a penalty, but it is possession.
Oh, gee. Cassidy, well, you mentioned it earlier in Simmons. You know what? Let's talk about this. When a team has, as we mentioned before, nothing, like let's say can't make finals. We saw it with the Magpies before. We know it was their last home game. We're seeing it with the Lightning. You just throw everything on the line. This is the way they should be playing all the time. It's got passion, it's got aggression, it's got everything in it. The Lightning tonight, really enjoying the way they're going about their game.
It is. They're putting out a fantastic display, and unfortunately we've not seen that consistently throughout the season, and they will be disappointed in that. There's been moments of brilliance and things that the team and Belinda should also be proud of. But yeah, we're seeing the best of them tonight, and they'll be frustrated to have not been able to have done more.
Still plenty to unfold in this game. 23-18 the scoreline. Fowler with 20 goals. She's certainly been quietened in this first 5 minutes. Just a single goal in this quarter so far. And the Fever have only scored 2 to the Lightning's 4. This will be their third of the quarter. So,
wow, that feed was beautiful from Sasha Glasgow. More than off the circle, but in more than enough space to get there cleanly.
Contact goalkeeper.
Conan doing a great job of that front space hold. And a good finish from Steph Wood. Teague Neal, centre pass receives, notching up, number 1 in the league for it. Ball in hand. Gee, the post took a bang.
Really great work. The feed is going in, but it's not convincing, and Ash is making them pay for every single centimetre that they don't put on that ball to Janelle.
Well, if she was allowed to have longer nails in the game of netball, that would have landed in her hands. So 25-19, and a slow second quarter by both sides, 5-3. But the West Coast Fever, Dan Ryan, their head coach, has realised not working as well at the moment. HCF tactical timeout to the Fever.
Couple of walls to push back up, get back into the grind and slow their speed. Sit up nice and high, get your eyes looking, all right? In this front line, got to keep the confidence now to keep looking forward, doing the work off the ball, trusting our skill in that regard, all right? So delay, centre pass defence, looking forward, centre pass attack, lock into our skills. Simple stuff, let's go.
Let's go, guys. All they're doing out there is putting physicality on us. They want to pass around and then they get the ball. So let's rip it in strong, give it to someone's gut if you need, turn and we go and get it. Defense, we step it up another level. There's 7 of us on the court, we delay it the whole way, okay? Here we go, let's talk. Fever 3, 1, 2, 3.
Fantastic access there to the timeout from West Coast Fever, and really clear and concise feedback from the captain, Courtney Bruce. There's certainly a level of physicality that the Lightning are bringing, and it's working, but sometimes just calling the obvious thing helps. Letting everybody know what's happening out there is okay, and you can continue to ride it out.
Well, it was a needed HCF tactical timeout, wasn't it, by the Fever. They had been stunned, really, in terms of their attacking play. I've got to go to Ashley Irvin again. She's been impressive. She's giving Fowler something to think about. So 9:24 on the clock. The Fever led 20-13 at the first quarter. Just a goal the difference in the quarter score in the second. Black, great give and go to the line. And another little give and go. So they're shortening the game up here, taking the Fever defence out of it, the Lightning. Very hard to defend. And great attacking play to the post, the finish from Conan.
Really beautiful second phase drive there by Sasha Glasgow. Alice Teague Neal doing the work to get over the line. Sasha really clear on knowing that that wasn't for her, getting great depth and a much easier access to goal.
Let's get to Dylan on the Sunshine Coast Lightning in that timeout.
Yeah, really interesting feedback from Belinda Reynolds. First and foremost, she's happy with that attack end, likes the way the ball's moving. Feels like they can be a little bit stagnant on long court, wants one person to punch up the court and then clear out. But a real talking point was where their GD and wing D are on that transverse line. They want them to be able to reset to the ball side and have someone further off so they can go even further back if they want to. So they are just trying to starve West Coast Fever of possession and keep ball in hand.
Such an excellent point there, Dylan. Often we want to reset to the line defensively to maintain possession, but sometimes that doesn't change anything that's happening in front of you. So to go back is sometimes useful.
Back. Back into it we go. 8 minutes. Well, there you go. She's the Sneak. That's her nickname. And it won't go the way of the Lightning, but I tell you what, Carla Pretorius came from nowhere on this. HCF tactical timeout, was held up by Glasgow and then found her way through HCF tactical timeout. It's a Harvey Norman replay. So Sasha Glasgow is getting a bit of an insight to the international in Pretorius. Fever find their way to Fowler. Fowler on 25 from 25. Not long to go before the big milestone arrives. Wood opens the court through Sherian, using the width and then the quick hands. Look at the 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's add number 5, not to be. Obstruction on Bruce. So Courtney Bruce got her eyes on that goalpost, ready for the rebound. Does Wood give her a look? Oh, she does, but it goes to Conan. You can't discredit what Conan does under that post, the way she positions herself, and then her great vertical jump. It's the power she has to go up to get that ball.
She's such an athlete, and she really deals well with quite a lot of physicality out there in the circle. And she's not only just having to deal with Courtney Bruce, but there's a real willingness, here we go, of the Fever defenders to swap. So we've seen a positional switch now where Courtney Bruce will start on the line on the centre pass. Sunday Ariang back at goal shooter, on the goal shooter.
Oh, that would have been a moment.
Well, wouldn't it?
Oh, well, it's worked, though, for the Lightning. As Ariang gets exposed on the change of direction, and Conan slots in number 18 for her. 28-23. 5 the difference. Fowler was out through the middle, then retreats and continues to roll in the ball at the post, the Jamaican superstar. That's the thing, Belinda Reynolds won't be happy with another moment. Again, she talked about skill before, breakings and footwork. There's another one, Stace. Yeah, those unforced errors, they are called coach killers for a reason. They're really parts that you don't want to see in the game. And oh my gosh, Carla Pretorius picked the West Coast Fever's pocket in that moment. The ball was there for the taking, and she made sure that the umpire knew that it was going to be hers. Well, offline, and comes through and takes it against Fowler, and at the other end, the goal defence. Sunday Ariang trying to do the same thing, but it lands with Conan. So Carla Pretorius starting to have a real presence defensively for the Lightning. A couple of big intercept moments for her, but it's Verity Simmons sitting on top at the moment in the miss and net points at 46. Fowler, some distance on the shot. It doesn't faze her though. Great depth from Sherian. And back to the line. Well, Teague Neal gets her hands to it. Yeah, I think Lightning will be grateful that that ball trickled back into their possession. Belinda Reynolds demanded that the wing defence, goal defence were ball side for a reset, and that wasn't what was presented in that moment. Power 5 now in play. There's Cassidy, a little deflection. Simmons is a net points leader at the moment. Steps in, had a rest last week. Didn't go to Adelaide with the Fever under COVID protocols. Alice Teague Neal not fazed at all by the close attention being paid to her by Ava Black. She also sitting on 45 miss and net points, so tracking nicely. There's your score breakdown. The Fever by 7 in the first. The Lightning have held them toe for toe here in the second. The first Suncorp super shot doesn't drop. And the deflection or rebound tap from Bruce. The Lightning with ball in hand.
Centre obstruction. Centre obstruction.
Cassidy just dribbles to Wood. Wood again. She's the one they want. She just doesn't drop at the moment. That's the fourth miss. Anstis keeps ball in play. Glasgow, well, under so much pressure from Pretorius, she hits the deck. They know that's the battle, isn't it? They know they want Glasgow in the 2. Yeah, it's Sasha's had a tricky start to this game in terms of physicality levels, and last week she was not allowed a second of time to breathe, but it works. It nullifies one of the greatest threats that West Coast Fever have in attack, and so Lightning will continue to bring that physicality in. Pretorius will continue to bring her individual brilliance as well. Just over 3 minutes until we get to the half-time break. Don't forget all games this weekend. Live and exclusive on KO Freebies. So the entire First Nations round on KO Freebies as Fowler pulls that one in and hits number 36 to go. Most casual of rebounds there by Janelle Fowler. Let's get straight down to Dylan McPherson. A good moment, Dylan, for Verity Simmons just then.
Yeah, Verity Simmons hits 3,000 feeds in Suncorp Super Netball. That is the second in Suncorp Super Netball history. What a phenomenal milestone. And I play a bit of centre myself and try not to feed, so that's very impressive from her.
Well done to Verity Simmons. And of course, most of those feeds have been to Fowler. And she is enjoying the court space at the moment. Look, there's another one. And they find Glasgow. The crowd are willing on a super shot. Sasha Glasgow doesn't land, and contact the call on Fowler. So it's the Lightning that get the opportunity here. 2 minutes to play out in this second quarter.
Brilliant resilience from the Lightning defenders there to stay present in that moment. The ball wasn't cleanly in two hands, and so therefore it was up for grabs in the contest, and Carla Pretorius is doing the absolute most, not only on Sasha Glasgow, but also on any ball that is free in the circle. As we see here, a change at goal shooter. And Charlie Bell getting her first shot, looking like she's been there the whole time.
Rolls on quickly for Cara Conan. A minute 30 to play out. Slots one in, 6 the difference. Bell out. Sherian working hard, has to swing wide. Sunday Ariang. So close. Cassidy, though. Vision early to Steph Wood. Oh, gee, well, they're attacking the post, but they're not dropping here tonight.
Yeah, it's an interesting tactical change for me to change the goal shooter. I thought perhaps they would maybe switch Steph Wood and Cara Conan around, give Steph that opportunity to take an extra second before putting up those twos, because they do need her to keep attacking the post, but unfortunately they've not sunk it.
Glasgow finds some space this time at the top. That's her range, likes the position. She'll get another look at it. Obstruction, the call on Irvin. Sasha Glasgow, number 1 in the league for these moments. Suncorp super shot. The queen of super shots, 61 to her name in season 2023. And the West Coast Fever push their lead out. A centre pass to come. Simmons to Anstis. Ariang fighting to get through. Teague Neal, good vision to find Simmons. Well, there's another one. Does she go 2 in a row? Stacey Francis, Bayman, big breath out. Glasgow. Sasha Glasgow, well, she's got the rhythm, and the scoreline now pushes out to 10. 3 seconds, so they'll have to take the centre pass here, the Sunshine Coast Lightning. No, they don't, and they'll come back after half-time with ball in hand. But the West Coast Fever, they found their way, didn't they, in the second quarter. A couple of big shots from that lady on screen. They head into the half-time break. And a handy lead of 10 goals. With the Sunshine Coast Lightning some work to do. Let's go down to Dylan McPherson with one of the young stars for the Lightning in the first half.
Yeah, I'm here with Ashley Irvin. Ashley, your first season, you've got 2 intercepts, 1 deflection. You're playing on arguably the best goal shooter in the world. What's it like out there?
No, it's really fun. Being against Janelle, one of the best shooters, probably the best. It's amazing just to get that experience of playing with Carla. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and that score blew out there, just went out to 10 goals. A lot of damage in the super shot. How are you going to defend that in the second half?
We just got to be really hard in that defence. We got to win ball early. We got to make sure we close that gap before the 2-point. And yeah, we just got to attack it hard.
Well, we've been talking you up in commentary, so keep that going for the second half. Best of luck.
Thank you so much. See ya.
So a commanding lead by the Fever at the halftime break. When we come back after the break, it will be the halftime show. And don't forget, folks, next month, Netball's biggest tournament is coming to Fox Sports, and our Diamonds have unfinished business. They're out to dethrone arch rivals New Zealand and win back the World Cup. And Fox Netball is the only place to catch every game live.
Netball crown stays in Australia.
We thrive on this pressure.
One to win it for Australia.
Our Australian Diamonds putting it all on the line.
Chasing gold in Cape Town. The netball.
Well, First Nations round unfolding here at RAC Arena in Perth. The West Coast Fever and the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Some moments of brilliance from some of the defenders on the court, young Irvin and then to Jess Anstis. And there's a lady that's having a very impressive outing in the first 30 minutes. Both Simmons and Janelle Fowler enjoying her first goal. It's the West Coast Fever leading by 10 goals at the halftime break. We'll go to that first moment. Fowler and her first goal. Little love heart your way, Stace.
I know, I'm not forgotten yet. I did slide into her DMs this week when she did a Q&A and asked us to dedicate her first goal. So if you ask, you get.
Very good. Well, there's the Fever in the change rooms. You get the feeling Dan Ryan would be reasonably happy with the way their attack has been ticking along, Dylan. Of course, there's been some brilliant passages of play from their attacking, both from centre pass and from the back line.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when Fever get on a fly, they are just phenomenal and very, very hard to stop. Lightning were trying to do it with physicality, but we see here, Simmons is just charging through the court, and it's just giving them no time defensively, Lightning, to set anything up. And what I've been really impressed with is Sunday Ariane and Jess Anson's attack onto that second transverse line. They are getting the ball right down to that Fever attack end.
Certainly playing with some confidence, the West Coast Fever, and of course that's why their scoreline at the moment sitting with the 10-goal buffer at half-time. The Sunshine Coast Lightning, for me and Stacey, we mentioned this in commentary, right in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, their ball speed was impressive in attack. It's had moments, but it's been inconsistent, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been inconsistent, and I think when we've seen Steph Wood outside the circle without any attention being paid to her, that's when Lightning are at their best. She's able to take many, many touches on the ball and really run the speed and the tempo of the Lightning attack, as we see there with that fantastic through-court play and feed to Cara under the post. But unfortunately, they're not able to do that consistently.
Yeah, they've had their moments, and of course they've still got 30 minutes to try and rectify that, and if they can get their attacking play ticking along nicely, of course, then it's just about finding some defensive moments against the Fever attack line. Verity Simmons has been a good 30 minutes to start with tonight. We mentioned that she was coming back from the COVID break, just reached that 3,000 feed milestone, but I just love the connection she has with Janelle Fowler.
Absolutely, and the confidence that they have. Janelle sets up so early whenever Verity's charging down the court, and that's super impressive. And not only that, 2 pickups, she had an intercept early in the game, and that's the thing we've been critical of in the past about Verity Simmons, coming from that wing attack background, is that defensive effort, but I think she's all over it today and really making Mahalia Cassidy's job very, very challenging.
What do they do, though? Do they change up this line for the Lightning to contend with Verity Simmons?
No, I think they keep it, but I think they just identify that they are almost equal on feeds, Simmons and Teague Neald, and maybe they've been paying a little bit too much attention to Alice Teague Neald and need to slow them down, Fever, on that through court, maybe sit in a centre court press, something that slows their whole team down and forces Verity down the court, but without the ball, make her punch back up at it.
Well, Janelle Fowler, we mentioned it in the opener, has the opportunity to break a milestone tonight, 5,000 goals. Stays currently sitting on 30 goals. Hasn't been easy. The opening quarter was impressive, but she was slowed up by Irvin in the second quarter, but she is 6 away from that milestone.
She is, and I would sell my house for free if Janelle Fowler doesn't reach and surpass that in this game, but Ash Irvin is doing the most to interrupt that. She's still shooting at 100%, but what she has done is caused a few handling errors, and she's definitely disrupting Janelle's game today.
Dylan, she'll have her family here in the crowd today, both her fiancée Ashani and her daughter Dreana. What a moment for them to be able to witness Janelle reach that big milestone.
Yeah, not only is it how accurate she is, but it's how long she's been at the top. You know, we've seen her through ANZ Championships, now into Suncorp Super Netball. She's just been so impressive, and like Stacey said, Ashley Irvin's doing a great job, but you just can't stop her.
You hope that Dreana is looking up her mother's stats there and not on Facebook.
Perhaps she's posting. If Janelle was my mother, I would be updating my Facebook status at every opportunity to let everybody know about it. But
there she is, Dreana, joining Janelle here in Perth. Let's get over to the match summary. As I mentioned earlier, Stace, the scoreline sitting at 10 goals. Look at the accuracy for the Fever at the moment at 95.
Yeah, and the games are really even, so Lightning are definitely getting hands on ball, but for me, it's that given possession. Their centre pass is sitting a little bit low, and unfortunately, they're being punished by the missed shots.
So we've still got 30 minutes to unfold here. Can the Lightning come back, or do the West Coast Fever hold on and rectify those 1-goal losses? You're going to have to wait to see. But as we head to the break, while the girls have brought their best to the court today, Woolworths met with our Suncorp Super Netball stars off the court to find out how well they know their fruit and veg. Take a look at this and get yourself involved as well.
Welcome to the Woolies Pick Fresh, Play Fresh game. True or false? A cup of spinach contains 2 serves of vegetables. True! When should you eat foods with protein?
All meals and snacks.
Soaring away.
See you later.
Test your knowledge on the Woolworths Pick Fresh, Play Fresh Hub for your chance to win great prizes.
Well, we continue to celebrate First Nations round. Plenty of terrific activity unfolding on the court, both with some of our First Nations people and, of course, the players entertaining this enormous crowd here at RAC Arena. Cara Conan has been reasonably impressive, hasn't she, in the opening 30 minutes. But we'll need to do a lot more work. The West Coast Fever leading at the moment 37-27. Can I say, though, they are the best team in the league this season to be in front at half-time. They have the best score differential of any side. But unfortunately for them, that's not how the second half usually pans out. So there is a real chance here for the Lightning to come back. There's the ladder as it currently sits. The Fever in third position, and the Lightning, just the slimmest of chances, need to get across the line here, or it is season over for them. Stace, how does this second 30 minutes unfold?
For me, I think it's going to be really interesting. Like you said, Fever don't necessarily finish games so strongly, but last week was the first time since round 1 for Lightning to win a second half, so quarter 3 and 4. You'd hope that they're going to bring that form into today and to really challenge the Fever in this second half of the game.
So we get underway with the second half, and Conan comes back onto the court after Charlie Bell had a couple of minutes. And Cassidy again, well, she enjoyed that little pass. The expression on her face said it all into Conan. Ashley Irvin stays on in at goalkeeper as well.
Construction goal attack.
And it was great to see just in the halftime break, of course, off camera, but plenty of coaching going to her and just keeping her confidence up, I have no doubt, Stace. So Janelle Fowler just 5 away from the big milestone. Belinda Reynolds, the head coach of the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Let's get down here, Belinda. I have to say straight away, welcome back to RAC Arena.
Oh, thanks, Gordy. Love being back at RAC. Good crowd in tonight.
Thanks, B. You know that the West Coast Fever bring a fantastic home crowd, but you guys have been bringing some brilliant netball, specifically in minutes 1 to 10. Where do you feel like you're potentially lacking in that super shot period?
Yeah, obviously Steph's been off the radar early, but she's a champion, so she'll continue to attack it, and I'm sure they'll start to drop for us.
You have a really strong one-point brand of netball. Is the tactic today against a team like Fever to really just continue to try and go for those twos, knowing that you have a Steph Wood who is more than capable of sinking those long shots?
Yeah, it is. Obviously, we know that Fever have such a good one-point game as well. So, yeah, just trying to break the game open in the 2-point.
How good's Ash Irvin, mate?
Oh, she's going to be a superstar, isn't she? She's a great size. We're getting her footwork going, and she's having a real crack against Janelle. It's great.
And just before I let you go, B, you're here for the week before you take on the Thunderbirds next. So good to be home with family.
Yeah, it was really nice to connect with family and friends. I've got a few in the house tonight, so looking forward to celebrating with them later on.
All the best in the second half.
Thank you.
Belinda Reynolds, as I mentioned earlier, assistant coach to Dan Ryan in the premiership last year, 5 years as his, 5 years between him and Stacey Marinkovic as assistant coach of the West Coast Fever, and a pathway player here in WA, and gets the opportunity to live out her dream now as head coach of the Sunshine Coast Lightning. 12 goals, the difference, so a couple pushed out early here by the Fever. I come to you, Stace. You were coached by Belinda. Just give us a quick insight.
I think the best thing about Belinda is her ability to build relationships with the team and with the players. She gets to know you individually, and I think that level of trust and support that you receive from her as a person, not just as a coach, is what's most important. And then anything that she says to you netball-wise, you absolutely absorb because you trust her.
So Janelle Fowler just finding a bit more rhythm in this third quarter. And Lightning through Wood. Cassidy, Conan ignored on the lead. A little fumble from Wood, picks up the scraps. Oh, Bruce comes out for the contest. So clever, that offload.
Yeah, incredible timing. She knows, everybody knows that she's looking for that offload, but it isn't as easy as just shutting down that shooter-to-shooter.
Good hands from Black. Teague-Neal had to work hard to get the ball up. That's a better position. Ball into Fowler this time, taking Irvin completely out of the equation. And Janelle Fowler now sitting on goal 35. So one more, and it is record time.
Do you think she's got a hand signal for goal 5,000?
She won't even, I don't even think she'll know. I reckon the crowd will tell her, though. It's not the feeling. Laura Sherian recovering from that last contest. Good swing to Cassidy, under pressure Wood. And then Conan ticking along nicely. And goal 24, just the one miss. So Fowler out wide. That won't be the moment, but this could be. Swings the ball. Here we go, folks, for goal number 5,000, Janelle Fowler. Congratulations, the superstar, as her daughter gets to her feet, Brianna Fowler. Well, there you go, folks. That is a milestone to reckon with. 5,000 goals in Suncorp Super Netball and over 1,700 in front of the next best in Shimona Nelson. It's a good moment, isn't it?
It is. You can't help but smile. There is so much adoration and respect in this arena from both fans. It's a brilliant moment to celebrate. It's a testament to the player that she is, but Janelle's just playing netball.
Well, if this was AFL, I reckon some 10,000 people may have flooded the court.
The netball fans have got some room to grow there. I would have joined them, I reckon.
We could have had a held-up game. We get back to it, 43-32, just 5 minutes played out in this third quarter. And again, the Lightning have done a terrific job in going blow for blow early with the Fever in the first 4 or 5 minutes. And then it's sort of been that second 5 where Fever have taken a bit more control. Conan out, retreats to the circle, met by Ariang. Penalties, Stace. There you go, ask and you shall receive. So 38 to the Fever. Opportunity here though for the Lightning off the offensive contact. So again, a couple coming against Glasgow as Pretorius just continues to try and get under the skin of the goal attack for the Fever.
Yeah, Carla Pretorius has so many fantastic weapons, as we see. Sunday Ariang have an attempt at that cross-court ball. Carla's ability to doggedly man-to-man mark a player is well cast, but she's also able to come off and win ball cleanly as well, which makes her such a threat. And she knows she has a task on her hands today, because if you are able to shut down Sasha Glasgow, there's maybe a Janelle Fowler in the circle, but you're certainly going to be going ways to stopping West Coast Fever running at capacity.
Nice one under the post for Steph Wood, 31 years of age, and certainly contributing to that last 10 tally there. So the Lightning of having a terrific run of 5. And just starting to put a bit of pressure back on the Fever. Irvin. Well, it was a terrific attempt in front space of the rebound.
Contact centre.
Of course, Janelle Fowler last week was quiet, wasn't she, when she had to contend with Shamira Sterling of the Thunderbirds, and she's certainly having a work cut out for her tonight with the youngster in Irvin. Cassidy, 72 Nissan net points, so the 2 mid-quarters with the highest Nissan net points on the court. Simmons at 83 and Cassidy at 72. Impressive games by the midfield.
Some real work going in the mid-court there by both teams. Steady and stable with the ball, having an impact defensively as well, providing that important link between both ends of the court.
Fowler under the pressure of the Lightning arms. Doesn't faze Janelle Fowler. There's just a little chat to herself as she walks away from the post. So they've worked back this scoreline to 8, the Lightning, playing with a little bit more freedom and confidence in attack. Conan. Patience to find Steph Wood. Steps back, and that's the confidence that's coming.
And I think she's been given a little bit more freedom outside of the circle, what we alluded to at half-time. The physical work needs to be done on Steph for me outside of the circle. You need to limit her ability to pull those strings and to work the Lightning into the game. And she's having a great start to this third quarter, and that shot is absolutely going to help carry her into the 5 minutes at the end.
The brains trust of the Fever. Watch on. Well, I was going to say that was a great ball. Somehow, though, it was kept in play by Cassidy. Terrific athleticism in the air from Conan. And they end up with the ball and the goal for the Lightning. Have a look at this. Harvey Norman replay.
Incredible work there. Not willing to let that ball go out and ably backed up by Cara Conan in the circle.
Well, when you don't know what to do with the ball, just hope to God you can send it to the goalpost and one of your teammates is there to get it. So 47-39 is your scoreline. 30 seconds out before we head to our Power 5 period and another HCF tactical timeout, this time called by the home side, the West Coast Fever. They trail this quarter though, 12-10. Let's hear from Ryan.
Then quarter back to GDs. Attackers over here for a quick set. All right, Bessie. So let's go really aggressive in this 5-minute block and try and attack the post as often as we possibly can. So think about your entry points, not always through the top. You guys making sure we're opening up the circle all the time, all right? So if we need to play some extra passes to open up Sash, read those cues on where she is. Let's try and blow the score out a little bit with confidence and aggression. And if you feel it, go for it. If you're not quite sure, we can play it to you under the post. Yeah.
If I get it on in the post, I can't find Sash, I'm coming for you guys. So be ready. Yeah, on the side. Yeah. On the shot. Yeah, got you. Yeah.
Strong on the rebounds for us, all right? Really important. Yeah. So you can use your back spacing, right? So you're coming forward and then open up the other side, all right? Just stay high work rate, see what you can open, all right? Let's go for it, guys.
Energy here.
All right. Okay, let's really attack both in defence and attack this 5-minute block, guys, all right? So go for it. Work rate high, skill even better. Let's go.
Fever, watch it go. Fever, let's go.
So there we go. Dan Ryan just building up the energy and he's rung in the changes for the West Coast Fever. The captain, Courtney Bruce, moving out to goal defence. And Rudy Ellis, haven't seen her on the court for a few weeks, but gets the nod here for the 5 minutes against Conan. Ariang, a little rest on the bench. So the Lightning, 8 goals the difference for them. They've been creeping back this quarter. And this will be another one to bring the scoreline even closer. Teague Neal, Simmons, look at that. Confidence to work the ball between them.
Contact wing, set at the advantage offside.
So contact on Sherian. The Power 5 buzzer. There she is.
Janelle Fowler was on there for me for quite a while, but they were definitely having a look to see if they could get the ball in Glasgow's hands.
Dylan McPherson, not many super shots falling so far. Glasgow a couple.
Yeah, and very interesting in that Lightning huddle. We heard earlier Coach Melinda Reynolds saying that Steph Wood wasn't accurate early, but they want to keep her backing herself in, and I expect that they've given her license in that huddle to do it, but huge energy from Steph Wood. They want this game big time. They don't care that they're not playing finals. They want to make Fever's life a misery for the next 19 minutes.
Well, why wouldn't you? Steph Wood last week in her interview post-game when they won against the Magpies said we may not be able to get there, but if we can create some real confusion, struggle, and a changing of positions on the ladder, then let's do it. So the Sunshine Coast Lightning keeping well within range here. The West Coast Fever, though, hold on to that 8-goal lead. You heard Dan Ryan, he wants it pushed out. Simmons, contest in the air with Cassidy. Ellis out looking for ball. Steph Wood puts the pressure on the scoreboard and drops the Suncorp super shot. And that's what Coach Belinda Reynolds wanted her to do. Attack, attack, attack. And then all of a sudden the moment, astray. And it's a Lightning throw-in. So momentum shifting, Stace.
Yes, absolutely. The Fever making a few uncharacteristic errors. The Lightning's pressure keeping them in the game.
Conan outside, looking for Wood, comes straight through the middle of the two defenders. And then under pressure decides to go the one. Smart though, because it's their centre pass. And look at this scoreline, folks, back to 5. Oh, terrific. Well, the Lightning are coming alive here. They have silenced this RAC Stadium crowd. and 4 goals the difference. Look at this, 18-12 in the third. And it's exactly what they did to the Fever the last time they played, a 24-18 third quarter turnaround.
Yeah, Fever well known for using their timeouts tactically to change personnel, to swing momentum, but unfortunately it's going in the opposite way for them today.
Hustling to find Glasgow. A lot of pressure on the shot, but the Suncorp ball drops through the middle. Super shot number 3 for Sasha Glasgow. Terrific tactics, should I say, terrific tactics. Say that a couple of times in a row. By both sides, Wood again, top. Rebound. Well, Bruce had it, Ellis spoiled it, and it goes back to Steph Wood, and she punishes the moment of the Fever. And look at the passion coming from Steph Wood.
She is. She's ready and willing to attack this game on behalf of her team. Giving her 2 bites of the cherry.
Oh, gee, Glasgow. Well, it's a contact on Sasha Glasgow.
Hold time, back there.
And it's offensive contact number 4 for her in this game.
Yeah, it was a brilliant contest, I think, as we see here from the Harvey Norman replay. I think the contact's pretty harsh, but the play absolutely should have landed in Lightning's way. It was a mutual collision and ball should definitely have ended up in their hands.
Well, this has been the story of the season for the West Coast Fever. They've been brilliant early, but they have been giving sides belief that they can come back. And that is exactly what the Lightning are doing right here. Oh, gee! Oh, my goodness. The courage from Jess Anstis to take that ball as Ava Black came out flying. Have a look at this HCF or Harvey Norman replay.
That is a fantastic piece of footage. Beautiful contest from Ava Black. The ball was there. She had nothing to lose, but such strength and presence of mind from Jess Anstis in that moment.
Terrific athleticism and skill from both athletes. Nothing in it. Number 4 for Sasha Glasgow. 53-47, so back out to 6. Lightning moving the ball with speed, finds Conan off Sherian. Steadies for the 1, they're quick to score. Back to 46 seconds on the clock now. 5 the difference. Teague Neal, a little slip on the decal. And then only one option, Sherian, outside arm, doesn't go. Fowler, great defence here from the Lightning, really shutting down the Fever's options. Janelle Fowler, and eventually they open up the space for Glasgow. She can go number 5 for the team. Thumps the hands together, Suncorp super shot drops, and all of a sudden the pressure just slightly off the Fever.
It does. It's been a fantastic quarter for the Lightning. They are up in this game. Steph Wood has been critical. Sasha Glasgow has had something to say about it though, which has kept the scoreline that little bit further out than Lightning would like.
Absolutely, Stace. So a little bit of an anticlimax for Steph Wood then on the buzzer at 3-quarter time. An entertaining third quarter it was. And if you're a Lightning fan, you'd be thrilled. A 21-18 quarter for you. You've given yourselves a chance. 15 minutes to play here in First Nations round. It's the Fever holding on by 7. Well, welcome back to RAC Arena. The Origin Energy final quarter break. A very important one for both sides, as the coaches would be giving belief to both of their teams. And there's the replay of that moment. Janelle Fowler on her 5,000th goal. And more importantly, her young daughter, Dreana, getting very excited. And what a thrill it is now that we get to cross down to Dylan McPherson with a very special guest.
I have a very special guest here, Sue. I'm here with Dreana. Dreana, when your mum's got her 5,000th goal, tell me, who was the loudest in the crowd?
Me, it was me. Like, yeah, it was me.
And such an exciting moment for her, record-breaking. How cool is it to have Janelle as your mum?
It's amazing, and it's surreal because like sometimes I forget that people don't see her every day the way I do. Like they don't go home with her driving the same car or eat the same food as her, but I do. So I kind of forget, but then I remember.
And it's your best opportunity here. Is she a good driver?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Well, enjoy the rest of the game. Thanks for joining us.
I will. Thank you.
Oh, what a character young Diana is. And if you're just joining netball for the first time, Janelle Fowler, playing in her 6th season with the West Coast Fever, has been out here for 5 previous seasons without her daughter living with her. So it's been an enormous feat. And of course this year, after receiving permanent residency, great moment for the Lightning. Diana gets to join courtside and watch her mum do things like that. So terrific moment.
Win defence obstruction on the side.
Get back into the game. 15 minutes to unfold here. And the Fever under pressure from the Lightning in that 3rd quarter. They had a solid 10-goal lead at the halfway mark, the home side. And they will look to close the game out against a side that has unbelievable belief. As Charlie Bell gets onto the court, and Stacey Francis, we talk about big moments and big crowds. I tell you what, there's been some enormous crowds so far this season, but I am pleased to report right here, right now, that there are 10,245 people sitting in this stadium watching this game. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It just blows your mind. It's absolute testament to the game of netball, the product, and that the players and everybody behind are able to put out there. 10,000 bums on seats is amazing. The atmosphere in here is brilliant.
Well, surely that'd go close to the biggest crowd so far this season. They have been in force, the Green Army, and they're going to need to do that to get their home side across the line. As they go into attack again, Glasgow trying to find some space against Pretorius. Alice Teague-Neal, game 100 as we mentioned. 77.5 missing net points for her.
I think what stood out for me from, incredible first ball contest there by Jess Anstis. Able to come up with the ball and Fever back on attack. But where the Lightning set themselves aside for me in the 3rd quarter and where they can close the gap to finish the game is their centre pass attack was up. They were up at 83%, although they weren't able to get hands on ball. 0 gains in comparison to the first half when they were in and around everything. It was enough to put the Fever under pressure and to win that 3rd quarter.
Yeah, very interesting stat. And absolute credit, though, to the attack end for the Lightning, being able to keep that ball possession going through the 3rd. They're going to need that here in the 4th. The Fever, though, it's a good start for them opening this final quarter. They push the scoreline back out to that halfway margin.
Contact wing defence.
Terrific second phase ball from Steph Wood in at wing attack now. And she'll be the playmaker out there as well. The swing. Conan out. Look at Bell under pressure. And then terrific feed from Cassidy just to find the space over the top of Bruce. Charlie Bell, been a tough few weeks for her after the passing of her father. But terrific to see her back out on court, living out her dream.
We've got a bit of Jamaican argy-bargy going on in the circle now. Fowler stepping up against her teammate for country.
And Dehaney. She's had a terrific season too. The fact that she's been sitting on the bench and Urban's been getting a look in speaks volumes about the confidence they've got in the youngster in Ashley Urban.
Absolutely right. And for me, I think it's the Belinda Reynolds effect. At the start of the season, Katie was talking about how Belinda has really coached and drilled her on her footwork, that she's improved her own level of confidence in her game. She's a fantastic player and she's been able to put that out on court for Lightning, and we've obviously seen the same from Ash Irvin as well.
So Janelle Fowler, even then when she's pushed out at range, finds a way to keep the accuracy ticking along. Only 2 goals missed from her today. And a held ball it was, so terrific pressure, and keeping it clean was just Anstis.
Yeah, we've got a fantastic battle between Wood and Anstis opening up, but very smart work there by Jess. Really good physicality and that presence of mind to stay in play and cause an error.
Dehaney, they'll call that a mini win, pushing Fowler again out, but the confidence is with the Jamaican goal shooter. So a terrific opening start here for the West Coast Fever. 8-4 they pushed out in this quarter. And of course, no doubt it causes Belinda Reynolds to think she might need a chat with her side. HCF tactical timeout to the Lightning. They need to do something here. Let's listen in to Coach Reynolds.
You front, and then that fake is good and just pop over the top. All right, KD, front. We need to win this first phase, so I need you. You need to get over the line, all righty? So it's either a 2-on-1 or a wall, and we're going out hard. And then if there's a quick 1-2, you're just going and you'll fill into the post, all right? You two stay 1-on-1 and then a bit of a flood down, all righty? Okay, we want ball here, and then when we get it, get your hips down so you can make that connection. We actually need to go in gear 4. Gear 4, we need to go in it. Yeah. Gear 4. Let's go. Let's give it to him. Lightning on 2. 1, 2. Lightning. Let's go.
Well, yep, there you go, the final words. Let's give it to them. Well, why wouldn't you? Scoreline has pushed out. Nothing to lose here for the Lightning. And the coach has asked for gear 4. Got no idea what that means, but if I'm driving a car, I figure that's pretty fast.
Yeah, I reckon it's pretty high. The Lightning will definitely be looking to go out there and have an improvement on their centre pass defence. Reynolds asking Black to get over the line and be a presence. The Fever centre pass attack hitting over 80% at the moment, so they're going to need to impact on that.
So back into it. HCF tactical timeout still in play for the West Coast Fever. We'll see whether that's needed, and that's probably the first mishap moment from Verity Simmons in the game. Been tracking very nicely and sitting quite high up in the Nissan net points. Alice Teague Neildstow starting to track nicely in her 100th game. Transition from the Lightning, impressive, but the touch on the pass, not enough though. Conan to Bell. So the Fever go through Simmons. Anstis flying through court. Here's the goal assist from Teague Nield, #1 in the league, and continues to lead the way as the Fever look like the confidence has come back in this quarter.
Advantage contact, wing.
Let's get down to Dylan McPherson, who was inside the Lightning huddle. Last chance for Belinda Reynolds.
I was actually in the Fever huddle.
Oh, were you? Oh,
I
okay.
was, yes. And Coach Dan Ryan, all about energy, and finishing this game off. He knows how big of a threat the Lightning can be, particularly in that super shot period if they move Steph Wood. But he was really impressed with his West Coast Fever as Katie Dehaney comes out for an absolute flyer on Verity Simmons. Really impressed with his West Coast Fever attack. Thought their work rate was outstanding. And he just wants Sasha Glasgow constantly sweeping the top of the circle and get herself in that super shot range.
I thought you were in the Lightning huddle because I know how much you love Belinda Reynolds.
I do love Belinda, but unfortunately I don't control such things, so I'm not that powerful.
Dylan McPherson, Australian men's mid-quarter, doing a wonderful job since joining the Fox commentary team. As was the wonderful job done then by the Lightning in transition. Charlie Bell had a little moment last week, was a bit shaky. She's been better here tonight though for her side. Ariang, impressive in attack tonight for the Fever. Fowler out high. Cassidy a little slow to get to her feet, but looks okay. And Dehaney tries everything she can, but can't stop Janelle Fowler from 36 goals at the milestone of 5,000, now up to 50 goals, a half century.
Contact centre, advantage offside.
Lightning the swing. Patience at the top. Look at the feet, the defence. Talk me through it. They're closing Bell down.
Yeah, I think what's fantastic from the Fever defence is obviously an incredibly tall circle in there, as we see a miss, but a really aggressive rebound there by Bell. Hedging the space, constantly confusing it, not letting it be really clear as to who the ball could go into. And I think a little bit of, overcooked it there. Alice had one too many wheat bix this morning, I think.
So a chance here for the Lightning. They're going to roll the dice and do it pretty quickly. And exactly that. 4 or 5 balls through court, undefended by the Fever, brings the scoreline back to 10 with a power 5 period still to come.
If you were Belinda Reynolds, do you leave this lineup out there, though, to finish out our game?
I would at the moment. The only problem they've got is they need Wood in the super shot period because she's the go-to girl. So we'll look for that change to rattle. But at the moment, their attack is ticking beautifully. And scoreline creeping closer for them. Teague Neal, patience, looks around, finds Fowler. At the other end, the Fever, well, a rare moment as Fowler's ball hits the front of the post. Gets another look at it, though. Oh, gee, 2 misses in a row. Tell me the last time you've seen that from Fowler.
Yeah, not often at all. I think it's credit to the defensive work of Katie and Dehaney. Jay is taking a step back. She's given herself the time, but Dehaney's in her head. She's up and about, trying to disrupt that shot, and it's working.
Lightning Wood working hard out the front. What I love about this with Wood is opens up another way of thinking for the Diamonds as well, doesn't it? What she can do at wing attack. Verity Simmons has been told to zip it from the umpire. Conan, a little out of range from her, and you can see a very flat shot, but it falls.
Yeah, she'll be happy that that one has gone in.
So the Nissan net points, Conan and Cassidy now pushing up in a trailing side and leading the way for their team, 98 and 95 apiece. And now a moment.
Incredible work by the Lightning, Sue. Sorry to cut you off.
No, not at all.
As a #1 defensive fan of anyone who gets an interception, really great hustle, ability to keep it in and then back each other up as well.
Well, momentum, an important moment to have, or momentum, an important piece to have as you go in to a power 5. The siren's gone. Wow, interesting. So the momentum sits with the Lightning here. We'll go in a minute. Would you have called a timeout there?
I would call a timeout because I want to move Steph Wood into goal attack.
Yeah, but let's rotate it as play's going. That was really moving well. Anyhow, who are we to say? HCF tactical timeout to the Lightning.
You went to GS. All right, Chevy back into wing attack. All right, come out, going into wing D, GD, GK. So this is what we're going to do, is what we did at training, all right? I don't want any sinking deep into the 2. I just want us high, high, high. And remember, they fake and put them to the back space. The other one can read that. And I want defence over the shot. I want an early arm and jump on them. I don't want a low block vision to post, all right? And then what are we doing? Blocking out and rebounding, all right? And then we need boys in attack, okay? Guys, we need to go generally pretty fast, but that doesn't mean spray the ball. You can fake and move, all righty? So let's move as fast as we can in attack, as direct as we can, in defence. Now for level, let's just take risks. Free ball and finish. Let's go. Lightning on 2. Lightning.
Well, I tell you what, if the Lightning are to win this, it is going to be the tactical genius here of Belinda Reynolds. Have a look at these changes. So, Ash Irvin comes on at goal defence with Dehaney back. The 2 big talls. The sneak Pretorius out at wing defence. Sherian back on for speed. Steph Wood goes into goal shooter.
Oh, a moment there by Sunday Ariang.
Well, I don't want to take anything away from Fever, and that is a big moment, but I really love that Belinda Reynolds is taking the bull by the horns here and saying, let's try something different, see what we can do.
Yeah, I agree. It puts the onus on the players to have impact and do something different on the game whilst they're out there. We can see already a different defensive structure for me for what the Lightning are doing. Fever very patient to work through the middle of their zone, but players out there with clear instructions of what to do. And Sasha Glasgow entered the super shot chat. Unfortunately misses there, but follows up with a fantastic rebound.
Well, there you go. This is exactly what the Lightning have the big 2 talls on for. That is to force the pressure over the shot and then find the rebound. And they've done just that. So a big moment here for the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Sherian Has to go backwards. Anstis goes looking.
Obstruction, win defense.
Oh, Wood fakes to the right and straight down the guts to Conan.
I could watch that again and again. Beautiful attacking play there by Steph Wood.
I tell you what, this is where the West Coast Fever have choked a few weeks in a row in this final 5 minutes. Their attacking play has slowed right down and the Lightning's energy is up and about.
Yeah, and it's important for the context of the game right now, but it's also important to change habits and look like you can be a threat at these points in these moments in final series.
The swing of the ball, they're using the width. Sasha Glasgow looks nothing short of exhausted.
You're right, and Dan Ryan asked his team for work rate. He said work rate is going to get them over the line, and for me, the Lightning defenders are covering so much space without having to do as much movement as we see Steph Wood here.
Oh, geez, we'll get another look at it, though. That was a big bomb to drop. Steadies this one in for the Lightning. Suncorp super shot and brings the scoreline back to 6. The Fever need to keep pushing here in attack. Scoreboard pressure the key for them. Glasgow, great strong drive, creates the contest and then the contact from Dehaney.
Yeah, so Sasha, in terms of the work rate piece, the defenders are covering a lot of space in that circle as we see that ball bobble out over the back of the line, but they're not moving necessarily. If Sasha continues to take on that drive and get the front position, you might get a contact, you might get the ball.
2 minutes and 10 seconds to play. The Lightning again finding Wood. This is the lady that's going to bring them home if anyone is, and she goes again. Of course, now the scoreline back to 4. The crowd now trying to get into it. That crowd number's gone up by 500, 10,764. Oh, the moment.
People have heard that there is a game on at RAC Arena, flooding through the gates. Unfortunate miss there by Steph Wood, but Fever straight into the attack.
Well, they transition nicely through court. Janelle Fowler hears the crowd. They say, just shoot it. Pivots 360 and finds the goal. And with just a minute 25 on the clock, this is a game, isn't it? 68 to 63. And HCF tactical timeout, the last one called by Dan Ryan. What has he got to say right now?
Nice and close. This is so important that we're in tune with situational awareness, right? We're owning the scoreboard, therefore we've got to own possession and make smart choices in this front line. So just keep ticking the 1-pointers over, don't force the 2s, we're up and in control with 2 minutes to play, all right? So stay alive in your position, but if we're ticking the clock down, we're doing exactly what we need. Steph's hand's getting hot, cut it, all right? Let's go, come on.
Take a breath. We're good. We practice this again and again and again and again in training. So have the confidence, go out there, just play our netball and we'll pick the stats. So here we go. Let's go. 2, 1, 2, 3.
There's some terrific leadership coming from Courtney Bruce. Terrific leadership. And just reminding her teammates how often they practice these moments in training and that they shouldn't shy away from it. Stacey Francis-Bayman, and of course, we've mentioned earlier, Fever have had 4 losses this season, all by a single goal, and they've been in this position time and time again.
Yeah, and what a luxury to have a timeout up your sleeve to call in these moments, to give the team a very direct message to say, this is what we need to practice, this is what we get better at, to take us through to the rest of the season.
So here we go, folks. Who takes this one? We'll find out in just over a minute's time. The Fever with possession, control. It is theirs to lose. And they look like they're going to play a bit of possession. You heard Dan Ryan go, don't forget we've got the ball. We can tick this over. Fowler swings the ball, finds Teague Neild in her 100th. She had to pull that one in. They've consumed a good 33 seconds of the clock and eventually it kills you, doesn't it? Oh, no. Well, they've spoiled the moment by toying around, Dan Ryan shaking his head, and they've given the Lightning a quick look here.
Exactly that. He was very clear in the messaging that they don't need to force the two. Fever were obviously working the ball around to try and shoot a two. They got the ball to Sasha Glasgow.
Oh, gee, well done to Steph Wood, who's punished the moment for the Lightning. 3 the difference. They've got to go quick. They've got to take risk. Conan has to take the shot. Do it. And it doesn't fall. You can't blame her, though. There's not enough time on the clock. And the West Coast Fever, well, I don't want to say they're getting themselves out of jail, but they certainly haven't made the moment an easy one. With 4 seconds to play, the lady that shot the Milestone 5,000th goal will take the moment for the West Coast Fever. And they find themselves back in the winner's circle with a 4-goal victory in First Nations round over the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Well, you get the feeling Dan Ryan not overly thrilled with the way that game played out at the end, but Stacey Francis-Bayman, a win's a win.
A win is a win, but you can definitely tell that Fever are keen to use these moments and these opportunities to rectify issues that they've got in their game plan, moments where they've fallen down in the past, and I think that's what you saw in his face, a bit of disappointment that they weren't able to recognise situations earlier in the game. However, full credit to Sunshine Coast Lightning today, who brought an incredible performance. Their second half particularly was fantastic. Only the 3rd time that they've won a second half this season, and they're taking it to one of the best in the competition.
Well, they won the second half by 7 goals after the Fever led by 10 at half-time. And of course, we saw the way the Lightning finished the game last week, so they would have had the confidence. Congratulations to Alice Teague-Neal on her 100th game. Janelle Fowler with 5,000 goals. And the West Coast Fever have entertained, haven't they? This 10,764 in the crowd. That'll be a record for Suncorp Super Netball this season. And I wonder who the player of the match is. It's going to come from someone from the Fever, surely. Let's head down to Dylan McPherson.
Yeah, it was someone from the Fever. A great game today, Verity Simmons. God, they challenged you, the Lightning. How big is that win for you guys?
Yeah, massive. We knew they were a really dangerous side, obviously not making finals at the moment, so they're just going to come out and put it out there, and they absolutely did. I thought they had a fantastic game, and we really had to stand up in there.
And today, I don't know if you know this, I don't think you check your stats this closely. You fed your 3,000th feed in Suncorp Super Netball. Tell me, what is it like feeling Janelle Fowler and Sasha Glasgow?
It's pretty nice. Like, I think JJ hit 5,000 in that game. We've got Alice hitting 100, so big milestone game, but very blessed with the feeders I've got, very blessed with the team I've got.
And it's a huge couple of games for you. You want to play finals, you want to finish top 2. Tell me, how big would a home final at RAC Arena be, given that we just had over 10,000 people here today?
I think the crowd speaks for itself. This place is wild. All you see is green, all you hear is everyone. So it'd be lovely to do that, but one game at a time, one step at a time.
Well done, Verity. Great game today. Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
So a terrific game from Verity Simmons, our player of the match. Let's take a look at the match summary. Stacey Francis-Bayman, a 4-goal victory in the end. It was to the West Coast Fever, but gee, a tighten for them in that second half.
Yeah, absolutely right. Some minimal gaps between the stats here from both teams. The biggest thing that stands out, obviously, is those penalties. Fever with the most, Lightning with the least, but they are the least penalised team in the league and put out an incredibly clean brand of netball.
So for the Sunshine Coast Lightning, that is the finals chances now completely done and dusted. They'll play out their last 2 games for simple pride. The West Coast Fever holding on to 3rd position. What we're going to do now, though, for a special moment for Alice Teague-Neal, let's head down to Centre Court for a special presentation.
A massive round of applause, everyone. All right, Alice, congratulations, 100 games. What does it mean to you having this milestone?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's been a wild ride, but I'm stoked to have ended up here in the West Coast with Fever, and I'm loving my netball.
How good is it to week in, week out, come here and play in front of 10,000 people at RAC Arena?
Yeah, I'm a little bit biased, but I think we have the best crowd going round, and love coming out each week and getting the crowd on our side. So thanks, guys.
And I'm sure you have a lot of people to thank. Who would you like to extend that to this evening?
Yeah, lots of people, family, my boyfriend, my club, the girls, coaches, everyone back home. So thank you so much.
Guys, one more time, please give Alice Teaknell a massive round of applause. 100 games in the Suncorp Super Netball competition. Let's give her a big cheer.
Well,
Hip, hip.
There you go, Alice Teaknell, and a win for her on her 100th game. Thanking the crowd, thanking her family, her mum here tonight, her dad at home in Melbourne. As the West Coast Fever wrap up a victory at RAC Arena in First Nations round. There's plenty to talk about. We're going to get the coach of the Fever with us after the break. As we head, we say well done to the Fever, a 4-goal victory over the Sunshine Coast Lightning. Well, First Nation round wraps up here in Perth for the West Coast Fever, and of course a tussle it was, but they found their way over the line in the end. A good dominant first 30 and then had to fight hard against the Lightning, eventually getting across the line by the 4 goals in the end. We welcome to the coverage the winning coach in Dan Ryan. You're smiling now, but when the siren went at the end of the game, it wasn't much of a smile. What happened? Why not?
I don't think we played that last 5 minutes very well at all, and we were up and in control on the scoreboard and just made some strange decisions, to be honest. So we do need to get better at that, but what I'm most pleased about is obviously taking the win and finding a way to hang on and just get it done. So irrespective of how it looked or how it felt, I really don't care. A win is a win and we'll take it.
You're right, Dan. A win is a win, but how much of a luxury was it for you to have that timeout that you could call in that moment to coach your team through it?
Well, I felt we really needed it because we were probably trying to force a 2-point shot when we didn't need it to, because we were actually in a really dominant position on the scoreboard and there was 1:30 to play in the game. So I thought we just needed to tick the 1-pointers over, and we did well at kind of taking away the time. But Janelle obviously forgot that you can only have it for 3 seconds, not 4. So we'll sort that out.
All right, let's talk about your attack, because again, it's been the dominance of your side for the best part of the season. When they got it right tonight, they were blistering, and the Sunshine Coast Lightning couldn't find a way to really contend with their speed, I guess, and Fowler just so good.
Yeah, I think we were much better today around doing the work off the ball to provide those connections for each other, which we really lacked last week. So just that extra workload from each individual player to support each other with ball side connections and just moving the ball with a bit more confidence and assertiveness. I thought we did that really well, particularly in that first half. And what was probably most pleasing is we continued to do it in parts when we really needed to in the second half, where they were coming back at us at the scoreboard. So that was a good advantage for us.
We spoke in the pre-game about that Sunshine Coast Lightning circle. I said it was diamonds on diamonds on diamonds in there. I thought Courtney Bruce and Sunday Ariang really stood up. How did you see their performance today?
Yeah, I think, look, a really tough battle against the diamond shooting pair, and you've got to work hard for every 3-second movement, the repeated efforts, the shooter to shooter, and I thought they did a really good job. And for us to be 10 goals up against them at the main break was really pleasing. And, you know, Steph got her hand hot there in the last 5 minutes in the super shot, which probably, you know, put us under a little bit of pressure scoreboard-wise. But I thought defensively across the board, we changed structures and we changed behaviour when we were getting exposed at times. We didn't stay in those survival modes, I guess, for too long tonight, which was great.
Terrific to see Sunday Ariang back to some of her best form as well. Look, a terrific milestone that unfolded tonight. Well, there was 2. Let's go to the first one. It was about, early in the third quarter, Janelle Fowler slots in goal number 36 and notches up her 5,000th goal. Look, she probably wasn't aware of it, but the crowd went insane. Just talk me through that and what it's like to coach the superstar in Fowler.
She's pretty amazing, to be honest, and I think what you see on the court is only one part of how amazing Janelle is, and she's so determined in every training session, whether it's on the court in a technical session or in the gym, to get better than what she does. And, you know, she'll want so much more out of her game tonight, which is what I love about her. She's the best in her craft, but she still wants to be better, and that's all you can ask for from an athlete.
So talking about one of the best for the Fever this year, Alice Teaknell's name has been on our lips all the time. She wasn't necessarily performing the way you would have liked her to last week. How do you feel like she bounced back today?
Terrific, and I thought her ability to lead the front line, change up the structures, keep her head in pressure moments was really pleasing today. And just the influence that she can have on the players around her, I think, is a skill that she probably doesn't know how powerful it is when she does it. But for her to play 100 games and play like she did tonight and really be thriving in her netball as a wing attack, it's great to see.
You've had a big influence on the shifting of her role from goal attack to wing attack. Talk me through that.
Well, I think what I'm really enjoying about her this year is the times when she's challenged, she's really eager to keep finding more tools in her game. And there were moments today where she was challenged, but she tapped into her toolkit with a different move or a variation of timing or speed. And, you know, while Latanya Wilson probably got the better of her last week, she doesn't get despondent. She gets really hungry to be better next time. So I love that about Alice, and it's why she's so coachable and why she's great to work with.
Dan, before I let you go, a little sneaky one here. You did a podcast during the week. You were on Sale of the Century and you won the jackpot.
Incorrect, Courtney.
Oh, what was it?
Price is
right.
Price is right, and I won the showcase and won a car and didn't have a licence.
Well done tonight on the win. Good to see the smile back on the face. The Fever, after a loss last week by the 1 goal, they come back. Good luck for next week as well. You're at home against the Giants. Of course, don't forget there's a big weekend of netball still to unfold. And how big's this one, though? It is the New South Wales Derby, a sellout stadium at Ken Rosewell Arena. That's tomorrow, and it's then followed after that by the Queensland Firebirds against a wounded Melbourne Vixens. How do they turn up at home, or they're not at home, away should I say, against the Firebirds? Don't go anywhere, we've still got another wrap-up to come. The Fever here tonight, 10 goals. Well, the West Coast Fever found themselves back in front against the Lightning here. Sasha Glasgow contributing early with a run of super shots, and of course, that moment there is a West Coast Fever side thanking a crowd of just over 10,700, and Alice Teague-Neal being celebrated with 100 National League games tonight. Thanks for joining us here. Round 12 nearly over. Of course, 2 days, or 1 day, should I say, of netball to come and 2 big games. But for the Lightning tonight, guys, the one that I want to talk about, and I think we mentioned her enough in commentary, you chatted with her at halftime, Dill, is Ash Irvin. Really impressive. The Lightning now have to find out what the next 2 games are about. Is that blooding the youngsters?
Well, I think it is, and I actually thought Ava Black was really impressive too, took on the contest well. Ash Irvin, 2 intercepts, 3 deflections, and, you know, I said arguably Janelle Fowler is the best shooter in the world. It was very impressive, and not only that, her ability to go to goal defence and how confident Belinda Reynolds must be with her to put her back on the court in those dying minutes and shift Carla Pretorius out of her preferred position into wing defence.
Interesting, when you were interviewing her at half-time, she was weighing up, is Janelle Fowler the best in the world? I think she's the best in the world, but yeah, she was the best in the world, Ash, and you did a very good job against her. Steph Wood, the captain of the Sunshine Coast Lightning, so much weight rests on her shoulders, and every week she continues to step up for them.
Yeah, it really does. She has a huge role in how the Lightning play, and that's just credit to her influence, her athleticism, and mostly her netball brain. She's a phenomenal thinker out there, and she helps her team work through situations, and she can be deadly under the post. Tonight, unfortunately, the super shots weren't dropping for her, but they needed her to keep putting them up, and you need to be resilient to do that, and Steph Wood has got resilience in spades.
Yeah, 5 from 13, but as you say, the confidence just to continue, and eventually some did fall for her, and it was basically what brought the Lightning back into the game. Of course, we'll see her for the Diamonds, no doubt, when the World Cup hits. Another one that we're likely to see plays alongside her. Cara Conan, for me, in best form this year. Terrific for the Lightning, terrific for the Diamonds. Not the long-range shooter, Dylan, but, gee, she's hard to beat when she just finds herself under the post time and time again.
And 38 from 39 for Cara Conan today, and I think there's a lot of discussions going on in front of TVs about who are those goal shooters that go to Cape Town, and I think Cara Conan locks herself in with performances like that. I thought she was phenomenal in her ability to go to goal attack. I enjoyed her and Steph Wood on the transverse line. She's got versatility to boot and loves a baseline drive.
38 goals from her tonight, sitting at her exact average around about that 94-95% mark. Terrific stuff. Let's take a look at how this round has wrapped up so far. Only 1 day of play, and it was the Collingwood Magpies against the Adelaide Thunderbirds. I can't even begin to tell you the emotion that sat behind this game. Just extraordinary. The Fever, as you see, with their win here tonight. But guys, we were watching the back end of this before we came on air. This is the last home game for the Magpies that they get to play in front of their crowd before their season will come to an end and their licence is over. Look at this, Jiva Mentor, Ash Brazel in tears. They got there against Adelaide Thunderbirds, who were probably targeted as the favourites for the premiership this year. Stace, it's just an extraordinary moment.
It is, and I think it's really hard not to get caught up in the emotion of the moment. Netball is a community, and we do ride the highs and lows together, and I think it's so disappointing how things have transpired for the Magpies. They are capable of fantastic things, and we saw that today against one of the favourites of the league. But yeah, you couldn't help but feel really sad but really warmed by the result that they were able to get in their last home game.
Well, congratulations to Nicole Richardson, Jiva Mentor, Ashley Brazel and the team at the Magpies. Of course, two rounds still to play for them, but a terrific result for you. We're going to wrap up tonight. Thank you, Dylan, and thank you, Stace. A terrific day it was here at RAC Arena. A big win for the West Coast Fever in First Nations round, and of course, still 2 games to come your way tomorrow. Suncorp Super Netball, round 12 at its best.